Sergeant, post.
National Forum for Moral Service.
Detachment at ease. On behalf of the personnel assigned to the Pendleton State Police Post, I welcome each of you joining us for our memorial service to honor those who have left our ranks. There will be some minor changes in our program today. Lieutenant Davidson from General Headquarters, a 22-year veteran of the Pendleton Post, will replace Captain Petrie in the ceremony. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the following individuals: Virginia Jones, Sandra Sayers, and Betty Jones, mother, sister, and widow of the late Trooper Roy Jones. I would also like to recognize Louise Garrison, widow of the late Trooper Robert Garrison. I would like to recognize Carol Grass, widow of the late Sheriff Malcolm Grass. Also, I'd like to welcome the retirees here today: Carol Moore, former district commander; Mike Bryant, Mike Bolander. I'd also like to welcome Senator Beverly Guard here to our ceremony today. For each of you here today, it is your presence which is important to share with one another the spirit of service towards our state, country, and fellow man. The job of law enforcement officers encompasses many duties, and Indiana State Police, like all police agencies, rely on many role players to accomplish the mission. Immediately following the service, you are invited to join us for lunch in the garage area at the rear of the post. We would like to thank the Indiana State Police Alliance for their donation, which has provided the flowers and meal for today's memorial service. I'd also like to thank Susan Sills for organizing our luncheon today, and Jody Little for her assistance with the meal. Additionally, I would like to acknowledge personnel from the Indiana Reformatory and the Correctional Industrial Complex for their assistance in preparing our facility for today's ceremony. Now, District 51 Chaplain Bob Cannon will provide our opening invocation.
Let us pray. God, we thank you that within the fabric of the universe you have created law and order and justice. We thank you today that men and women have heard your call to uphold law, order, and justice. For those who have served well and have left this earth, we pray your blessing upon their family and their rest. And for those who are gathered here today who served well, not only the Indiana State Police, but all other law enforcement agencies, we pray your continued strength and blessing, and ask that you would help us always to remember that law, order, and justice are a responsibility that we must maintain. And we can only do that in your grace. Amen. We would also remember those troopers and civilians who worked out of the Pendleton Post and are now deceased. Many of their family members are with us today. Bert Davis, First Post Commander; George Daugherty, Charles Eckerson, Earl Francis, Al Walling, Jeff Powers, Dick Scholl, Ray Mitchell, Richard Mullen, Robert Stewart, and Robert Davis.
Now, Leah Dietrich, Marley Hardy, Julia Stevenson, and Carrie Ann Ricks, the group Harmony from Pendleton Heights High School, will perform the national anthem.
So proudly we
Ready? Hit! I'd like to thank Harmony for that rendition. Good job. We are assembled here today to honor our departed comrades, perpetuate the memory of our dead, to reverently commemorate the service of those who have given their lives in the performance of their duty. Prepare for roll call. Detachment parade rest.
Trooper Eugene Tay, Indianapolis, Indiana, General Headquarters.
Killed on December 21, 1933 at Paris, Illinois, during the capture of members of the Dillinger Gang.
Trooper Paul Miniman, Logansport, Indiana, Lafayette Post.
Appointed September 1, 1935, died May 27, 1937, of gunshot wounds while attempting to capture members of the Brady Gang.
Trooper William Dixon, South Bend, Indiana, Dunes Park Post.
Appointed September 1, 1935, died June 28, 1938, of gunshot wounds inflicted while attempting to apprehend members of the Eastern Gang.
Trooper George Forrester, Seymour, Indiana, Seymour Post.
Appointed September 1, 1938, killed May 17, 1941, in a traffic accident near Vernon, Indiana.
Trooper Richard England, Columbia City, Indiana, Ligonier Post.
Appointed January 20, 1936, died April 22, 1942, of injuries received in a traffic accident near Kimmel, Indiana.
Trooper Herbert Smith, Shelbyville, Indiana, Connorsville Post.
Appointed November 2, 1942, killed December 5, 1946, near Shelbyville, Indiana, when fired on by a traffic violator.
Trooper Robert Clevenger, Centerville, Indiana, Connorsville Post.
Appointed September 1, 1952, died September 8, 1953, in a traffic accident while chasing a violator.
Trooper Hubert Ralph, Indianapolis, Indiana, General Headquarters.
Appointed July 14, 1941, killed January 26, 1955, in an automobile accident near Indianapolis.
Trooper Earl Brown, Columbus, Indiana, Seymour Post.
Appointed October 16, 1940, killed August 31, 1955, while searching a suspect.
Sergeant John R. Miller, Lafayette, Indiana, Lafayette Post.
Appointed September 1, 1941, killed September 5, 1955, in an airplane crash while on Labor Day patrol.
Trooper Donald Turner, Auburn, Indiana, Ligonier Post.
Appointed November 1, 1946, killed January 28, 1956, by an automobile while assisting a wrecker pull another car from a ditch.
First Sergeant Marvin E. Waltz, New Albany, Indiana, Charlestown Post.
Appointed September 1, 1937, died March 18, 1957, of gunshot wounds inflicted by a suspect bank robber.
Trooper William R. Kellums, Indianapolis, Indiana, Charlestown Post.
Appointed November 15, 1956, died September 30, 1957, of gunshot wounds inflicted by fugitives wanted for murder.
Trooper John H. Powell, Otterburn, Indiana, Lafayette Post.
Appointed December 1, 1954, killed February 27, 1959, in a traffic accident near Pendleton, Indiana.
Trooper Robert J. Garrison, Montpelier, Indiana, Pendleton Post.
Appointed October 1, 1955, died December 14, 1959, of injuries sustained in an automobile accident.
Trooper Robert C. Gillespie, Bedford, Indiana, Seymour Post.
Appointed September 1, 1950, killed June 8, 1962, in an automobile accident.
Trooper William F. Kaiser, Tell City, Indiana, Charlestown Post.
Appointed Operations Clerk, November 16, 1957, Trooper, March 9, 1958. Died March 9, 1965, of gunshot wounds inflicted while investigating a suspicious person near Ramsey, Indiana.
Trooper Oscar Mills, Hobart, Indiana, Lafayette Post.
Appointed September 16, 1955, died April 12, 1966, as a result of injuries sustained in an automobile accident.
Trooper William R. Rayner, Osgood, Indiana, Versailles Post.
Appointed September 1, 1957, died December 18, 1966, of gunshot wounds inflicted by escapees from a Kentucky state prison in a stolen car.
Trooper Richard G. Brown, Lebanon, Indiana, Lafayette Post.
Appointed May 1, 1955, died September 27, 1967, as a result of injuries sustained in an automobile accident.
Trooper Robert O. Leeson, Westville, Indiana, Connersville Post.
Appointed August 16, 1962, died March 30, 1969, of gunshot wounds inflicted by a mentally deranged subject armed with a rifle that was firing at random from a barricaded position.
Sergeant George W. Campbell, Brazil, Indiana, Putnamville Post.
Appointed September 1, 1950, died June 18, 1969, of a heart attack during the arrest of a trucker who had attempted to run the Putnamville Scales.
Trooper John J. Strew, Logansport, Indiana, Cherville Post.
Appointed April 16, 1970, died February 20, 1971, of gunshot wounds. Marshal John Larimer of St. John, Indiana, was also fatally wounded as the two officers investigated two suspicious subjects behind a school building.
Sergeant Glenn R. Hosier, Logansport, Indiana, Peru Post.
Appointed May 1, 1955, died April 26, 1971, of gunshot wounds by a subject being sought for murder near Peru.
Trooper William J. Trees, Oakland City, Indiana, Evansville Post.
Appointed September 1, 1968, died June 26, 1972, in an automobile accident while chasing a violator.
Trooper Lawrence B. Meyer, Sellersburg, Indiana, Charlestown Post.
Appointed September 1, 1968, died February 2, 1974, of a heart attack during a foot pursuit of an escaped prisoner.
Trooper Lewis E. Phillips, Michigan City, Indiana, Dunes Park Post.
Appointed February 27, 1973, died April 16, 1975, as a result of injuries sustained in an automobile accident.
Trooper Roy E. Jones, Lapel, Indiana, Pendleton Post.
Appointed October 17, 1976, died July 3, 1979, in an automobile accident while en route to assist the Marshallville Town Marshal.
Trooper Robert J. Lather II, Greentown, Indiana, Peru Post.
Appointed December 15, 1974, died July 6, 1982, in an automobile accident as he assisted the Howard County Sheriff in the pursuit of a speeding vehicle.
Trooper Stephen L. Bailey, Richmond, Indiana, General Headquarters.
Appointed November 26, 1978, died December 10, 1983, weapon discharged while attempting to serve a warrant.
Sergeant John E. Hatfill, Evansville, Indiana, Evansville Post.
Appointed January 28, 1973, died April 13, 1987, shot to death while leading an emergency response team into the residence of a suicidal subject in Posey County, Indiana.
Master Trooper Michael E. Green, Thorntown, Indiana, Indianapolis Post.
Appointed June 10, 1976, died February 5, 1993, shot to death along I-65 in Marion County while arresting a person wanted on a warrant.
Trooper Todd A. Berman, Delphi, Indiana, Lafayette Post.
Appointed December 9, 1990, died July 29, 1993, shot to death while assisting the Camden Marshal to arrest a disorderly person.
Motor Carrier Inspector Working Leader Ralph R. Reed, Plymouth, Indiana, Bremen Post.
Appointed April 16, 1968, died July 3, 1995, struck by a vehicle while performing a truck inspection in Plymouth, Indiana.
DNA Supervisor Kimberly S. Epperson, Fountaintown, Indiana, General Headquarters.
Appointed February 4, 1985, died November 16, 1995, in an automobile accident while en route to training assignment at the Lowell Laboratory.
These are our fellow officers who have given their lives in the service of the Indiana State Police. When they departed this life that we still enjoy, they left but memories of a warm friendship, loyalty, and devotion to service. The greatest tribute in our power to pay our departed comrades is the reverent acknowledgement of our obligation to remember them. It has been said that the strength of the Indiana State Police Department lies in the character of its people. You and I will long remember the deeds of our deceased comrades who were ever mindful of their public trust. They have set the pattern we must follow in the days and years to come. We who remain do reaffirm our pledge to uphold the ideas and traditions for which they died.
Attachment 10, hut! Sergeant of Arms, salute our fallen comrades. Hey! March! Ready, hit! Attachment, parade, rest. At this time, I would like to hold on a moment for the train event. On Friday, December 8th, 1995, the Indiana State Police Pendleton Code received a cellular phone call of a Jennifer Lindsay, 15, Virginia Wade, 14, Megan Dyer, 12, and Shay Thompson, 5. Recently, Trooper O'Keefe was awarded only the 11th Gold Star for Valor in the 63-year history of the State Police Department for his efforts. Gasoline under the Lindsay car and flames entering the passenger compartment, Trooper O'Keefe entered through the rear window of the car, crawled to the front passenger seat, and rescued a seriously injured Shay Thompson. Today, on behalf of the Indiana State Police Department, I would like to honor 3 civilians that cared enough to risk their own personal safety to help total strangers. They were among the first on the scene of this terrible accident. They braved frigid temperatures, slick road, and a fiery crash scene to break out the glass of the Lindsay car and pull Jennifer, Virginia, and Megan to safety. Todd McCormick also used a fire extinguisher to keep spilled gasoline under the Lindsay car from igniting while Trooper O'Keefe rescued Shay. At this time, I would like to call the following people forward: Brian Fan, Todd McCormick, and Vance McCormick. Superintendent Lloyd Jennings. It reads, these 3 gentlemen is proclaimed publicly as deserving of praise and respect for extraordinary conduct and exemplary heroism in assisting with the rescue of the crash victims. While driving south on I-69 in Hamilton County, these individuals came upon a head-on crash. They observed the front of one of the vehicles was in flames with gasoline underneath. They proceeded to break out the passenger side window and rescued 3 teenage girls from the vehicle. In sincere gratitude, this certificate is awarded this 12th day of February, 1996, signed Lloyd R. Jennings, Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, and I take great pleasure in giving these awards to these gentlemen here today. I'd also like to acknowledge Mr. Ellis, if he is here. Just recently found out that he was also involved in the rescue. Attachment 10, hut. Sergeant, post.
Detachment.